Man, do we have something special for you guys? Roll the intro. I'm back with my Bash brother. Luigi and Mario are back. It's Rob, Anglin, and Italy Jet.
What is
Back,
up?
baby.
What is up? Long time no see, my brother. How are you?
Man, I'm doing great, man. I'm doing good. And just trying to avoid COVID like crazy, like we're all are doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's been crazy. Leslie is out sick. Don't know what she's got, but she lost her voice. So we wish speedy recovery for her. She will be back next week. But you know what? I had to do it. I had to do it. I had to call my boy. It's been such a
Mm-hmm.
long time. This is how much history we have, ladies and gentlemen. This, when we were in St. Louis. St. Louis again.
Mm-hmm.
And then my first time in Boston.
Had to
First
bring it
time in
home.
Boston. And then you got St. Louis again with the Roots. My cousin works at Volpe, by the way. Hilarious. And then back in Boston again. I mean, that's how much this history is between us.
Mm-hmm.
Rob,
My brother from another mother.
Rob,
Can't believe it.
how you doing, man? How you doing? Update the people on what you're doing right now, because people know you pretty well around the Red
Mm-hmm.
Sox community. I know the Dirty Water Dispatch
Mm-hmm.
knows you pretty well. So, give us an update on how life is.
All right, guys. How are you? First things first. My name's Rob. If you don't know me, now you know. Basically, same old. Just on Twitter, going on TikTok, and I am now the co-host of the Pesky Podcast, which I love talking and interviewing players and just getting to build personal relationships with everybody over there. But obviously, just it's a lot less pressure for me from when I used to host the Dirty Water Podcast. Just being able to pop in and now and then because. Running a podcast as a host, I don't know how you do it. God bless your soul,
I
Gino and
love it. I
Leslie, but
love it. I
I
love it.
just like it because I'm all over the place. So to be able to just chime in every now and then is good. But no, been good. Just talking baseball, posting about baseball. Same old, same old.
Awesome, man. Hey, I love that, man. For me, things are actually going really well. Trying, like I said, trying to avoid COVID, but I think overall, I think we should definitely try and get in on this because this has been. What are the Red Sox doing? I know. Listen, I know me and you. That's the headliner for today. Is the Red Sox did something, right? This is us.
Mm-hmm.
This is the quote. This is what's going on. I mean, shoot. It even says it in the thumbnail. The Red Sox did something. And as we know, it is this guy. This
Mm-hmm.
guy. He is a Boston Red Sox now. Rob, we think of Crochet in the trade.
Honestly, he was my number one target for pitching, whether it was a trade
Really?
or a signing. I really wanted a left-handed pitcher who was dominant, and that's what the Red Sox get in Garrett Crochet. Kind of reminiscing to not the Garrett Crochet. Sorry, let me reset. It's kind of reminiscing to the Chris Sale trade because you're trading with the White Sox for a reliever who originally wasn't a reliever, a pitcher who was dominant as a reliever, converted to a starter, had a great first season as a starter, and then getting traded at their peak to the Boston Red Sox. And that's what Garrett Crochet did last year. One of the best strikeout numbers in Major League Baseball, around like a 10 strikeout per walk. It's like I think he's second in the league behind Chris Sale in maximum innings. Obviously, he was on kind of a leash coming off of a Tommy John surgery. He was on an innings limit with the White Sox. Now that is pulled. This is his first full season as a starter with no limits. And the Red Sox finally have a guy that you can say, hey, let me put you out in game one of the playoffs. If we make the playoffs ever, but at least we know we have an ace that we could throw out there and feel confident pitching a game one. I like it. Do I think we gave up a lot? Yeah, I did like Kyle Teal. I thought he was going to be the backup catcher this year, if not the starting catcher. But hey, sometimes you got to make those moves in order to get improved and improve your team for the current team and also moving forward for the future. And I think that's what the Red Sox are going to get with Garrett Crochet. He's only 25 and he's got room to grow and a chance to sign an extension.
Yeah, he's young enough to even sign an extension. I'm thinking maybe an 8-year deal. That's what I'm thinking. I like the move. Wasn't my top choice, but I like the move. I think three guys that were untouchable for me: Campbell, Anthony, and Teal. I
Mhm.
really wanted Teal to be that future. But I understand that they like Meyer better, and I think they want him to be
Mhm.
the future better because you never know what's going to happen with Devers and Story down the line. So I totally get that. You're
Mhm.
trying to save Meyer for that. Um, Teal was that was the one player I was like, I don't like this trade because of that. Montgomery, I'm not shocked with Montgomery. I think if there's anyone in those top 6 to 7 prospects that we've had, I kind of expected Montgomery to be in that mix.
Mhm.
I actually expected Meyer to be in that mix, but they chose Teal instead. And the more I'm understanding the trade, Rob, I'm thinking, I understand catchers are a dime a dozen. You can go pick up a
Mhm.
that your number one or second, maybe third um starting pitcher that loves who comes to
Mhm.
the Red Sox and he's your guy. So I get the trade. I get why we traded it. I think it was a great trade. I think it was great for long term as well. I think overall this was a good move, but we did give up a lot, but that's what you got to do in this situation. I would
Mhm.
rate this a 1 out of 10. I would rate this for the Red Sox a solid 8. What about you?
I'll agree. I'll go 8, 8.5, just because obviously Braden Montgomery was expendable with all the outfielders that the Red Sox have right now.
Mhm,
There was no
mhm.
room for him. And then also, I mean, yeah, it hurts having to trade Kyle Teal, like I said, but you get in a guy like Garrett Crochet who is going to be dominant. He's so young. He has 2 years of club control right now. So you don't really got to worry about extending him
Right.
until a couple years from now. And obviously, let's not have a repeat of the Chris Sale trade where he performs really well and then you just hand him the money after and then he shits the bed. Let's hope that doesn't happen, but I'll give it an 8.5. I like the trade. I didn't want to see Kyle Teal go, but hey, I love Crochet and he's going to be the ace of the Red Sox, so I'll give it an 8.5.
I think, bringing in Jolito now, I think he's going to be set up for a good year. I know people are still kind of like, oh, we need that one more year of Hauk.
Mm-hmm.
But Hauk is a Red Sox guy. Like he is the guy. If you look at what he's done, the progression that he's done, I know at the end of the year, last year, especially after that All-Star game, he
Mm-hmm.
wasn't really the best, but man, he was lights out in the beginning, and that's what made him an All-Star, and that's what we know Bailey can do. That's what we know our pitching staff can do. Now that Jolito's coming back, and now that we have Hauk in there, you got Bayo, and then Crochet in there. You throw all
Mm-hmm.
those guys in there and you get one more guy. There's no doubt Bailey's going to work his magic now because that's how much confidence I have in Bailey now because we couldn't say that 4 years ago. We
Mm-hmm.
couldn't say that 3 years ago. So it's nice to have an actual pitching staff and even the guy we got from the Jays and the Rays in the pitching in the the dugout over there
Mm-hmm.
in the outfield. Like it's good that we can actually are finishing pieces and putting them together.
I really like this idea too of the Red Sox still trying to go out and get another arm,
We
preferably Corbin
definitely
Burns.
need.
A lot of people want Corbin Burns in the Red Sox
I
rotation.
want
And if
him
you
to.
if you
I
get
want him
him,
to.
this Red Sox rotation just takes a shift, and there's a lot of options that you can use because obviously you'll
Mhm.
have Burns, Crochet, Hauk, Bayo, and then Giolito as a five. That's a solid rotation. And then you still have guys
Correct.
like Richard Fitz you could throw in as a spot starter. You have Cutter Crawford, who's expendable. You could trade now. There's a lot of options in that if you do end up making that move and getting Corbin Burns where you have options where you could trade pitchers and you could trade bats to get a right-handed bat instead of shopping the market. I would prefer them to go after like a guy like Teoscar Hernandez just to add into that lineup or an Alex Bregman, but you can go to the trade market too if you end up signing another starter.
I think Tay. I'm glad you're talking about that, but I want to go to the closer position because
Mm-hmm.
before we go into the outfield, I think Whitlock. I think that's going to be a great setup, man. I think he
Mm-hmm.
can take on the Martin. I really
Mm-hmm.
think he can take on that Martin role, maybe even seventh inning guy. But I think now that you have Hendricks and Chapman, they can compete for the closer. I still want them to add another guy. I think back there because Chapman's very streaky. Hendricks is coming from a major injury. I think you still need one more guy. I know
Mm-hmm.
they're looking at Sandoval. I know they're looking at other guys, but overall I think you do need another guy. Is there a guy in the bullpen, maybe a closer that you're thinking of?
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. If you had to go out and get a reliever, you go after a left-handed guy like Tanner Scott. He's still available on the market.
Amen.
Maybe his asking
Amen.
price is a little high. Or you can go the comfortability option and go re-sign Kenley Jansen. And I mean, he wasn't terrible for the Red Sox. I
Oh
mean, a lot of
no.
people are not gonna like that take, but he seemed like he wanted out of Boston, so maybe he'll go to the Dodgers or something. But if he's affordable and the Red Sox can give him a 1 or 2 year deal, you let him ride into the sunset. And he wasn't terrible. He had a couple blown saves, but he was
Right.
honestly pretty solid for the Red Sox when you needed him. So there's another option there too. I prefer like a guy like Tanner Scott though.
Yeah, I'm with you on Scott. I actually really want Scott. I think that's a great move. I think overall, when you look at this state of Gus going after San Diego's players, I think Scott is definitely one. I want Dylan Cease. I'm still on that Cease train. So
Mm-hmm.
if I'm gonna get anybody, I would get Burns, Cease, or um, Luis Castillo I am a huge Castillo fan. And I know in the group chat, I know we're all divided because we'll talk about that though. But we're divided. But those are my guys, and I want Tanner Scott, so I'm with you on that one. Let's shift to the outfield. Teoscar Hernandez is the guy. I don't want Sanitar. Sanitar can go to the Yankees if he wants. I don't care. He's not that guy. 5 years, 100 million. I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. I can't do it for the guy like that. He's a great player, but he's not the player that the Red Sox need. And I don't think he's going to fit here very well. So I think if it's a guy that you're going to get, Teoscar's it. 3-year deal. Are you kidding me? We should have got him last year. It's ridiculous what we have to go through right now. He completes that outfield. If we keep Abreu or slot in Anthony with Duran in center, that's money. And Rev Schneider and as a backup, that's money. What do you think?
Honestly, Teoscar Hernandez, if you guys know, you know, he liked my tweet of him in the Red Sox uniform, so that kind of hurt me when he went to the Dodgers, of course. But now, hey, he said he wants 3 years. He loves Fenway Park. He loves being Boston. He loves the fans. This is a perfect chance to, hey, okay, we messed up the first time. Let's recover. Let's get him in the lineup. And then if you do sign a guy like Teoscar Hernandez, then I know you're not going to like this Italy, Jeb, but that kind of makes Masataka Yoshida expendable because obviously you can move Devers to DH, Casas to DH, whatever they want to do in that situation. But yeah, go after Teoscar Hernandez. His swing will be perfect for Fenway. He's a guy who could probably hit 40 home runs at Fenway Park just alone. And he's not a terrible defender, so you can put him in front of that left field wall. I mean, you guys were willing to give Juan Soto $700 million in that offer, and he's really not a good defender, so it won't make a difference putting Teoscar in left field.
Facts. I'm with you on that. I hate that I'm with you on that, but I think overall, let's just be honest. I don't think no one's going to pick up that Yoshida contract. If there's anyone's going to pick it up, it's either going to be the Jays or the Cardinals. I really think it's going to be one of those teams. Bloom got him here, and I think he will trade for him. And I think overall, if you're going to go to Canada for Yoshida, I think that's a good one too. Or he might just go out to California, or he might be staying another year and see what happens. Right now, I mean, he's last 2 years of his deal right now, so he just might be staying. To be fair, I don't think no one really wants his contract and no one wants him. So, but I think we both know he's not happy here, and I don't really blame him. To be fair, I don't really blame him. But I do think he's just not good in the outfield. And he's not really good on the bat, right? Sorry, not the bat. He's just only a good DH right now. He's got his hitting, and when he's on, he's on. Like he's super good when he's on. But when he is off, he is public enemy number one to everybody. So it looks like we might be getting another DH season with him. But I think overall, when you look at the infield, Valdez went to the Pittsburgh Pirates, right? So. I think, and we got some good keeps back. I think the battle of that second base has got to be Campbell and Grissom right now. It's got to be. It's because if we keep Casas at first, Devers is going to stay at third probably. Story is going to be our shortstop. Do you see anybody else coming in or fighting for that second base spot?
I see, honestly, if I had to see, I want Christian Campbell to be the starting second baseman. I think he needs to develop a little bit more. But I think the Red Sox go out and get bold, and I think he said he was willing to change positions. He said that he has a good relationship with the manager, and that is Alex Bregman. I do think he could play a good second base if you sign him to like a 3-4 year deal with a couple opt-outs. You could always do that too. And I feel like obviously drafted by the Red Sox would be a nice story for him to come back. And it's between the Red Sox, the Yankees, and I believe the Blue Jays are the top 3 teams that are interested in him right now.
Right.
He wouldn't be bad at Fenway Park, but I want Campbell.
Mets
I
too.
think he's ready.
Sorry,
the Mets too. He would be solid on the Mets too. I mean, how do the Mets have money after spending $800 million? I don't know how they do it. But hey, I would love to either Bregman or Christian Campbell. Grissom, you guys know how I feel about Grissom. I'm like, I think he's all right. He has potential. He's still young, but I would Campbell or maybe even a guy like Bregman.
I don't want Bregman. I'm going to be fair. It's a great story. I just think I think the priority now is getting another starting pitcher and getting another reliever and getting Teoscar. I think you can battle it out and get like maybe a veteran to come in the early rounds. I think if you're going to I seriously think Yoshida is going to stay. I don't want Casas. I hate Casas. I understand everybody loves him. and some people that hate him. I just think he's staying. I just can't see him go anywhere else right now. He needs to prove it though. He's becoming another Dahlback. I'm sorry, he is. He's becoming another Dahlback, and I don't like it. I don't like it. I think there's some better options out there, and I just don't. I don't like what I'm seeing. I don't know. You have another take on it though.
I honestly think because you got to look at it this way too. His first couple of years, he did have a couple injuries. That rib injury holding about half the year, and before he got
But
to that
he is
All-Star,
one more swing away though of hurting it again, and then
I
he's
know
out
that's what
even
I'm like.
more.
He's one of those guys though. Like if he is healthy, he's arguably a top 5, top 10 first baseman in baseball. He gets on base at an elite clip. He doesn't chase really. He gets on base. His OPS is really good, and he can take the ball the opposite way. And he's improved defensively at first base. But honestly, if I'm the Red Sox right now, you keep Tristan Casas for a year, and then you look into free agency coming up in 2025. Entering the 2026 season, you got a guy in Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who's a free
Amen.
agent, and links with him, and I think he would be perfect for Fenway Park. He's a career 400 hitter at Fenway Park. He's disgusting. He'd be great to have him and Rafi as a dynamic duo here. And then you can be like, okay, Tristan, thank you for your service, but we need pitching. We can ship you off for a arm.
I'm 100% with you. I'm on that Vladdy train. I love Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is one of my favorite players right now. I think it would be perfect for Boston. Just imagine him, Teoscar, and Devers. Oh my God. It'd be feeding meals for years. That's a trio, and then they want Soto in there. And I mean, listen, I didn't think we were gonna get Soto.
No,
It just didn't sound like it was gonna happen. So for me, that's what kind of what it looks like. The catching position is so weird right now. Like, thank God McGuire's gone. Bye-bye, McGuire. Thank you very much. Now we got Wong. Who do you want to freeze here? Do you have any prospects coming in that you?
I know there's two people that I think would be ideally either the backup catcher, not even the starting catcher. You know that's going to go to Connor Wong, even though he has been atrocious defensively. You got to look at it in the sense a guy who's going to be a backup is an internal guy who's in the minors right now, and Nathan Hickey. He's a very solid young player. He got a good bat, solid defensively, a little bit better than Connor Wong, and he could be a guy that the Red Sox have where he's catches and he's the personal catcher for Crochet or someone because obviously pitchers have preferences, but also a guy who I think the Red Sox could add and would be a veteran leader is also Yan Gomes. He's not the best offensively. He is a very good defender, and he's also just a veteran guy that the Red Sox could add too. So you could do that, and then in free agency, you could always look for a catcher. Or Elias Diaz. He's another solid catcher who won the All-Star Game MVP 2 years ago. He's a guy who has a little bit of pop in that bat, a little bit of a veteran presence, and it's a pretty good pitch framer too. So there's a little bit of options on the market there too. But Nathan Hickey, if you're going internally.
I like that. I think for me, I wouldn't mind trading for I wouldn't mind getting Grandel. I wouldn't mind getting Grandel, and I wouldn't mind getting McCann if we get Burns. So I think that would be good. But no, I'm with you on Gomes. I really want Gomes. That's like my first option. But if I'm gonna head over, I would get McCann if Burns is here. But overall, I would want Grandel. I think Grandel would be a perfect veteran and a perfect fit for all of us. And just in general, his history. He's got a great history, just like Gomes does, just like McCann does. I know Diaz is kind of one of those guys where people are kind of seeing what maybe he has, but overall, my dream, though, I think anybody's dream would be getting Contreras. But I don't.
That's a hard one to get.
It's a very hard one to get, but it's just not going to happen. But I think that's the guy I would be going for. Again, happy that McGuire's not here anymore. I was really shocked though when Jansen went to the Rays and he rejected a lot of multi-year deals from other teams. He even rejected us, but he signed a 1-year deal with the Rays. I actually really wanted Jansen back. Did you want Jansen back?
I liked him. I thought he was pretty good. I mean, besides though, obviously he's the first player to ever catch for both teams in a single game. Besides that, he didn't really do much in the second half, but he was a guy who was very good defensively for the Red Sox behind the plate. I thought they could have used him again for another year, but I mean, to go to Tampa Bay, I mean, they don't even have a stadium to play in right now. Like, that's cool, but hey, good for him, I guess. He wants to travel all the AL East teams, but I mean, should have been a Red Sox, but it's all right, I guess. I mean, I'm not sad with him parting ways, but I mean, it would have been nice.
overall, when you look at everything the Sox are doing right now, Breslow, Cora, the pitching staff, are you happy as a Red Sox fan right now, or is there more work to be done, or is it just slow? It's just slow, right? Because you've seen what the Yankees are doing right now. I mean, they're putting their money where their mouth is. I mean, they are following through.
Are
So,
they
what do you think about this whole situation right now?
Are they, dare we say, they're going full throttle? Let's be honest here.
They are going full
I'm
throttle.
not gonna lie. The Reds, when we said we're going full throttle, I thought we were gonna go all crazy. No, honestly, as a Red Sox fan, I'm kind of like, I'm happy we traded for Garrett Crochet. Like that was the shot, a sign that says, hey, we're ready to compete. But obviously, we're not. Haven't. I mean, the market's been slow in general. Besides, like the free agent market, at least, has been very slow. The trade market's been popping off. Kyle Tucker to the Cubs, Cody Bellinger, who's a guy who
Oh,
I preached for years to
God,
come
I
here.
know
Now
you
the
wanted
Yankees,
him
so
so bad.
that one hurts a little bit. And then obviously Devin Williams to the Yankees, Max Fried signing. I mean, it's
Oh,
just
God.
very tough. And then the thing that hurts is Max Fried could have came to the Red Sox. The Red Sox offered an extra year. 8 years, I think, for him is crazy, but that's besides the point. You got to do what you got to do there. But as a Red Sox fan, I'm a little jealous that the Yankees are making a lot of moves. Even coming off of a World Series, you could tell they're hungry. The Red Sox just need to wake up. And I think they, instead of making trades, yes, you got Crochet. Yes, you're trying to trade Castillo. Spend the money. Go out and get a pitcher. Go out and get Corbin Burns. Go out and get a guy, even like Walker Buehler. You can fill in that 3 hole right there. There's guys that you can do, but you need to sign players and you need to improve your team if you want a chance to win. And right now, the Red Sox, yes, traded for Crochet shows that they're interested in improving the team, but we need to see more. We need to see money spent.
If you're, are you, I guess what I'm trying to say is, do you think there could be a Doogie reunion?
Hell no, I would not
Fuck
want him
yeah, I
on the
like
Red
that.
Sox.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time. We got Richard Fitz now, so screw. And the Yankees got obviously Cody Bellinger, and they got Stan. They don't need him no more. So I can honestly see. I'm not even gonna lie. I can see Verdugo going to a team like the Cincinnati Reds. Like honestly, like a
Mm.
young team can go there. But Verdugo, hell no. What are we gonna do with him? He no, don't need him no more.
Do you think Doogie signs back with the
The
Yankees?
Yankees, if they give him a good offer, I mean, he could slot in left field. They're left. They're not going to put Stanton out there. I mean, I could see him going back to the Yankees, or like I said, the Reds, or even a guy team like the Marlins could use a guy like Verdugo, young team. But no, Verdugo. I mean, the Red Sox, no, they're too left-handed heavy, and I mean, you got Willie Abreu, Jaron Duran. There's no really room for Verdugo unless you want to just add him back just for like the clubhouse vibes. But I don't really see him. I don't see a reunion anymore.
I think it's really crazy going with the Yankees. I want to talk about this. So there's been like circling around about Bellinger, Stanton, and
Mm-hmm.
Judge, how this was like years in the making since the All-Star break, like
Mm-hmm.
more than 5 years ago. I'm talking maybe 5 to 10 years ago, that
Mm-hmm.
they're all friends. Cody Bellinger is even he was a Yankee fan growing up, evidently.
Mm-hmm.
I just found this out today.
I already know
I,
what you're gonna say. I already know what you're gonna say. That I.
awkward,
Mhm.
awkward. Former Giancarlo Stanton's ex is Bellinger's wife. Damn.
It must be awkward in that clubhouse. I mean, I know they're professionals, so they had to have talked to John Carlo
Oh,
before making this trade.
for
Like, hey,
sure.
just so you know, we're training for a belly. I know that's your ex. Hey, just so you know, it's a business move. But
Right.
hey, that's kind of funny. I mean, it's like you're in college again. You're Eskimo bros with your teammates, I guess. But at the end of the day, very dramatic, I would say. But I don't think they were planning it for years. But I mean, that is not a terrible big three, if you ask me. You got
It's a great
two,
big three.
three former MVPs, and obviously a reigning MVP and Aaron Judge, of course.
Oh, I hate that the Yankees might be getting good again. This just really upsets me. I think the Red
Hey,
Sox need to make a statement here soon.
honestly, it
And
was pretty fun watching them lose the World Series. That made my day. So,
that made me so happy. So happy. I think everybody really. But
mhm.
I still hate that the Dodgers won again. Like it pisses me off. Do you think Kike would come back to the Red Sox? I
Honestly, I
don't
would
think so,
be I
Well,
wouldn't be surprised if they signed him as like a utility guy. I mean, the Red Sox could use a guy like that. I mean, you got Rob Refsnyder who could play a couple positions, but Kike, he could play center field if you need to slot him in the lineup, second base if you need to put him at second base. God, no, keep him away from shortstop, but you can put him at third base anywhere. And I mean, I wouldn't be down. I would be down to see Kike Hernandez reunion. I wouldn't sign him to no crazy deal, but I do see him if he ideally does come back. I think he goes back to the Dodgers. I mean, that's what I would be more happy to see the Red Sox go after Justin Turner again. Honestly,
Yeah, I've
if
heard
the
about that.
right-handed
Yeah.
bat that they could use, I wouldn't mind Justin Turner over Kike, but I think Kike is just there's nowhere for him unless you sign him to a utility deal and he's a backup outfielder or a backup second baseman. But then that's why you got Rafaela too. So it kind of like, you know.
Rafael, I think, is going to be a big year. I really do think he's going to be having a big year. I'm actually really excited to see what the Red Sox do with Rafaela. I think my last question for you going into this season, who is two questions.
Okay.
What is who do you think is going to pop on this team prospect wise to make the team? Like, who is your guy that is going to just be that X factor that no one saw coming kind of thing?
A guy who I think the Red Sox, you should keep your eyes peeled. They just brought him back and re-signed him on the 40-man deal. Hunter Dobbins, he's a guy who's a solid young reliever, got a great fastball. He's a guy who you could throw in that bullpen and especially help that back end of that bullpen really quick. A guy who could touch 100, guy that could throw gas and help you in big leverage situations. I think he's a guy that I think will get the opportunity to play for the Red Sox. And another guy I really, really think is going to crack the opening day roster. I mean, he's the number one prospect in baseball, Roman Anthony. I think he's going to have a go off in spring. And I think now you have to go with an option. Okay, an outfield of Roman Anthony, Willie Abreu, and Jaron Duran to start the year. That's pretty good. You have Roman play right field. I mean, Willie Abreu crazy year. He's put up great numbers in right field, won a Gold Glove in a rookie season. Do you put Willie? You keep Willie in right, Roman in left, or move Duran to left and you put Roman in center, and it's just great defensively. And then you got a guy who he's the most hyped prospect the Red Sox had since like Andrew Benintendi, if you look at that, but definitely way more talented than Andrew Benintendi.
What do you think? First off, awesome. I love everything you said, and I think with the Dobbins, I think Dobbins is going to be one of those guys that people are going to keep their eye, but it's one of those things where it's going to be sneaky. Roman Anthony, I was either thinking Roman Anthony or Campbell, but I think I like what you said about Anthony when it comes to comparing him to Benintendi, especially the Italian factor. But overall, I think what he's just been doing in last year, it's just insane. Him, Teal, and Meyer, it was just like Campbell even, and then Montgomery bringing him in here. It was nuts. I think for me, I'm looking at Campbell and Anthony. I think they're gonna shock the whole league. Do you think my last question for you is, out of all the prospects in the minor league system, who do you think is going to have a big year at Worcester?
Oh, okay. Worcester. A lot of good young talent down there.
Because the thing is, they could come in the middle of the season. You know, we've had it like that before. So we've talked about that many times last year. Who is your guy?
A guy who I honestly could see making his way up to at least from AA to Worcester is a guy who's currently on the Sea Dogs, and I actually got to interview Blake Wehunt. I talked to him about his stuff, and he's been working on off-speed pitches, and I've seen a lot of highlights. And man, that dude can pitch. He can get it up to the high 90s. He's got a nasty slider, nasty wipeout slider. Him and another guy also, Noah Dean, another guy who I got to talk to. He's in AA as well on his way up to AAA. He's a nice left-handed reliever that the Red Sox could use. And Noah Dean, obviously, a good fastball, gets it up there. He's been training his velocity. I think he's got it up to 99. And he'd be great, too, to add into that bullpen, especially getting up the ladder to get to Worcester and maybe even help this major league club in a couple of years. Both really young. They're like in their young 20s, 22, 23. So they got a lot of time to develop. But that's the best time of years because the mid-20s to the young 30s is when pitchers really start to develop.
So I am going to sneak one more question there, and then we will wrap up. Worcester players going to the Red Sox that don't make the team, but you can see them coming in the middle of the season. Who's your guy? You've already went from Sea Dogs to Worcester. You already said opening day roster. Who is that guy that you see going from Worcester to the Red Sox in the middle of the season?
Marcelo Meyer. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer with Trevor Story at shortstop. I hope he has a good season, but God forbid, injury prone. You need a shortstop. There he is, right there. He seems like he's obviously that's another thing you got to worry about with Roman Anthony. Oh, not Roman Anthony. Sorry, Marcelo Meyer. He's coming off of a shoulder injury, so he's going to take some time in the offseason to rehab it, obviously. So hopefully he should be good by the beginning of the year. But I think when it comes to the time, Trevor Story, if he starts shit in the bed and not performing the way he's supposed to, I can see the Red Sox saying, hey, Marcelo, we want you on this major league team. You're going to be our starting shortstop because there's so much you can do with Trevor Story. And if he's in another year, another down year, that contract's just looking like a bust.
What do you think about Peyton we got from the Pirates in that trade with York? What do you think about him, the pitcher?
I like it. I like Priester. I think he would be able to make the roster too. Maybe as a reliever, because obviously you have so many pitching options. Unless the Red Sox, like I said, you never know if they're going to acquire another pitcher. But if you do get him, a middle reliever, a guy you could toss in the fourth or fifth inning, he's a guy who could give you 3 to 4 solid innings. Quinn Priester could be good. Another guy I really like, Richard Fitz. I think he should be the fifth starter as of right now. If they do not sign anybody out externally, Richard Fitz should make that rotation. I mean, he had 5 straight starts and no earned runs. He was the second rookie ever to do that. It's kind of crazy. So he's another option that you can do too. Look, Priester, good stuff. Got an off the table curveball, nasty slider, wipeout backdoor to left-handed hitters, and then that fastball is he can get it up. He can get it up there too. So good picks mix too. But Quinn Priester, I like him too, and he had that last start of the year, obviously last game of the season, and he pitched beautifully.
Couldn't agree more. Rob, thanks for co-hosting with me. Thanks for reminiscing with me with all of these awesome memories. Where can they follow you?
So you can follow me on X. It's Fade Lines, but an underscore. TikTok. You know where to find me too. Also, if you guys see me, if you guys want to hear more baseball, Pesky Podcast, and also check it out at BSEN617.square.site. His boy right there, Tanner Houck. We actually have a Houkamania shirt, so if you want to check that out, we got a bunch of merch for the Pesky Podcast too. But just want to shout out and thank you guys for letting me come on. I missed you so much, my brother. Feels like I never left.
I know. It's awesome being back with you. You're the Luigi to me Mario, so that's why I got the hat on. Guys, you can follow the Dirty Wire Dispatch in Boston Sports Zone on Twitter and everywhere else on all social media platforms. Leslie will be back with me next week, and it's Christmas next week. Can't believe it's actually here. Dang, this year came super fast. And even though the Red Sox did something, they need to continue to do something. Guys, I'm out. Italy Jet, Rob Anglin, Dirty Wire Dispatch. We will see you next week. Peace!